Greetings, it's Vanessa. Welcome to the Rise Up Mama podcast. For those of you who have been listening to me and you've missed me, yes, it's really me. I'm back. We're going to go into some of these things shortly. For those who don't know me, I am a lifestyle coach and I help busy women, especially mums, to feel more confident. I do this by showing you simple ways to improve and maintain your health and wellness through positive mindset development. I also show you practical ways of making long-lasting changes around your busy lifestyle. One of my clients said my coaching and accountability club has come just at the right time in her life. If you're tuning in, I'm on a challenge that has been set by my online marketing coach. I have to produce an audio recording every day for 1 year, but guess what? I haven't done it for about 2 months. This is so embarrassing. But hey ho, it is recording 21, okay? And today's audio is going to share a part of my story and identify what's been holding me back. And you can see it as like a part 2 of an episode that I recorded called Eliminating Bad Habits. And hopefully, in sharing my story, if you've been holding yourself back in different areas of your life, maybe my story might give you a nudge. So here we go. All right, so I got to day 20. Everything was going really, really well. And then I have disappeared. So if you have been following this journey and then you thought, hey, well, what happened? Then I want to extend my apologies to you and just share a little bit of what was going on. Now, even though I got to day 20 on the audio, I actually am on day 83 in a learning app called Duolingo. I've been learning Spanish, and I think I might have recorded this in the audio that I wanted to learn Spanish. So I am learning Spanish, and like I said, I'm on a day 83, so clearly I got further with the Spanish learning than I have with actually passing on some hints and tips here in my audio. Now, what I want to say about all of this is mastering my own mind has actually been harder than I thought it would be. So, part of my coaching, when I'm helping others, obviously I'm trying to empower, encourage you to take self-responsibility for your life, to create your own world, to actually look at areas of your life that you want to improve upon. But it all comes down to mastering your own mind and your mindset. And you know what? Even doing it in my own life, it is something that we have to focus on continually. So time flies when you are having fun. All right. Now, I don't want it to sound like I just disappeared and I've done nothing, because if you've been looking on my YouTube channel and in my Facebook group, or you might even be part of my community in the Telegram group, I have been busy. So, okay, I didn't keep up with my audio, which is daily. That's a lot of focus. But I have produced a weekly podcast in collaboration with some wonderful women that I've been working with. I have come up with my monthly event, Health and Wellbeing. So that's the Health and Wellbeing Cafe, as well as doing the interviews with the guest speakers there. And we've just recorded our second workshop in the education and empowerment community that I am building. So I have been busy, but this audio was becoming really special to me. So, I have to appreciate and take self-responsibility that I haven't been here. The topic is what's holding you back. Well, let me just say, I was actually nervous about coming back to you, reconnecting with you. I could have done this particular recording about 2 weeks ago. And for some reason, I just began to procrastinate. I don't know why. I did think about you. So let me put it in context. I'm aware that distractions were coming into my life, creeping in. Okay. So, as I said, this is almost like a part two of, I think the episode was called How to Eliminate Bad Habits in Your Life. Distractions were coming in. So, this was distractions from my work. And I don't mean work in my day job, I mean work that I do after work, coaching and supporting women. Yeah. Social media, I have become too involved in social media. So posting, looking at posts, and come on, I have to have been more disciplined with myself on that. And I feel embarrassed because on my other recording, I told you that I've eliminated Facebook, which, yeah, that's true, but I've replaced it with constantly looking in Telegram groups. So I must be aware of this. Is this something that you have found yourself doing? Am I on my own here? Can you relate to this? The other thing was self-doubt. I know that my audience is small here, and then I thought to myself, well, wait a minute, is there some lack of appreciation? Is that's what's holding me back? I do my gratitude list, but actually I need to show gratitude for those of you who have been listening to this podcast. I know the audience is small, but I need to be here for you, no matter how large the audience is. So again, I apologize. What's holding me back? Well, they became a lack of structure within my routine. And this I can now see is something that, if the structure becomes a little bit loose in one area, then it's easy for other things to start falling apart in other areas. So it's the first day of July and I was determined. I did a coaching session this evening. I've still got to do my steps because I'm on a step challenge, so I have some steps to complete for that, but I will be going out to do that. But I thought, no, I've got to get back on track with my audio. What's holding me back? The person who's holding me back is me. So the can you relate to this? I hope you can. Think of an area of your life, think of something that you are passionate about, that you really want to get done, and you just haven't maybe made the progress that you want to. So it's about learning the lessons, all right? Let me just say, lack of accountability. So as an accountability coach, so I'm coaching others to be accountable to themselves, but actually I have to face up to my lack of accountability because those sessions aren't about me, they are about the women in the group. But then this is interesting. The group has only just formed. And, I want to be attracting women who are really clear about they wanting to make changes in their life. And that's the whole point of the group, to actually help you to identify what it is you want to change in your life and to be what you'd say like a roadmap, help you to plan out the roadmap of you getting there. So the sessions now, I'm looking at the women who were with us. We started off with 7, then we became 8, very, very short lived. I won't go into that right now. But, I've only got one woman with me right now. And then obviously I've looked at my own performance and I'm like, whoa, is this like a mirror? Am I actually, again, I go on about the law of attraction, but have I done this to myself? Is this me holding me back? Has the law of attraction given me what I have almost like been thinking about? I don't know. Only those women can answer the question as to why they haven't continued with the program. But what I want to say for the one woman who has stepped up, not only is she in what I would say my basic package, she's in the next package up as well. And I have congratulated her because she's focused and she's strong. So as much as me providing a service, I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, what can I learn from this woman? This is fantastic. And look here, I've shown up. I'm doing my podcast. So it's great. But what's holding you back? I started to have doubt, as I said, but we do need to think about where is your strength. Okay, so as I said, I haven't just been literally sitting around and just not bothering to do the podcast. I have put other things in front and maybe lost my priorities. The priorities have got a bit muggled up. But also, then I started to doubt myself like, oh, what do I actually have to share? Is there anything that they want to hear from me? That is, again, thinking about not having faith in your own ability. Are you doing this in an area of your life? Do you actually have strengths and talents that you are not giving credit for? You are not prioritizing. You are not sharing with others. I've spoken about it already, but I'll touch on it again. Reducing distractions is a must. I'm not going to say that my learning of Spanish is a distraction, but I definitely should be doing it earlier on in the day. Lunchtime would be great, and I've said this to myself for a couple of weeks now. I need to do my lesson at the lunchtime. I need to get focused on that. So again, what's holding you back? Is it your focus? Is it the distractions? For me, the evening routine used to be I would do maybe a coaching call or do some writing, whatever, and then I would do my podcast. Well, I've actually replaced learning Spanish in the time allocated where I was doing my podcast. So, I'm very aware that I need to change that up. So, the afternoon and the evening routine. Are there areas of your life, are there areas of your routine that you need to make changes to as well? I have been taking on too much. I even wrote about this in my last newsletter. So if you're on my email list, you will have got a sense that I'm becoming aware of all these different projects and things like this. And it's great. It's great to be getting involved and have opportunities. But fundamentally, it's having an impact on how much time I physically have left in the day and then how much energy I have. So again, taking on too much, and this could be within the family as well, the areas in your life where you maybe need to be getting some more help or taking making decisions to actually say no to some things. Equally, you could be not stretching yourself enough. So are you holding yourself back because you're making excuses that actually I haven't got time to do anything, but really you've got loads of time and you're just not coming out of that comfort zone? Are you holding yourself back thinking that because you have a family, because you have caring responsibilities, you don't have time to do the things that you really want to do? Are you thinking about money and thinking, actually, I can't do this because I can't possibly afford it? Now, on that particular note, what I want to say is the best investment that you could ever make is in yourself. So don't ever use that as an excuse, because there are things that you are choosing to, circulate with your money. But is that of benefit to you directly? Is that really aligning you with your goals? Do you actually know what you want? Because if you don't know what you want, then that in itself is holding you back. You will not know whether you are on track or off track. So yeah, I've come onto this audio and I've spoke about the fact that I haven't shown up, but I know what I want. So then it was easy for me to identify that I was out of alignment with this particular goal. Are you existing or are you just living? You know? So, existing really means, are you just doing the day to day 9 to 5 and you're really like, oh, I'm watching the television, I'm going to go shopping, or I'm doing things that really are not, again, in line or aligned with who you really are. Don't get stuck in a rut. Comes back to clarity. If you are clear about, you might not know who you are, but you've got to start digging deep. You've got to start realizing that, we've all been given gifts and talents, and it's for us to actually use these gifts and talents and add value to the world in some way. So you may be good with your hands, you may be good with children, you may be good at writing, you may be good at singing. There's so many things that you could do. Have you really put some thought into your gifts and talents? Are you living in fear? And by that, I mean the false evidence that's appearing real. My fear was I didn't have enough time to do the research for the podcast. Okay, that was a lie. I've actually prepared for this episode in record speed, and I let it flow. I mean, obviously, some topics I do need to check in with other points of reference to make sure that I'm actually on track with what I'm going to share. I told myself I didn't have enough time. I can see now that that was a lie. I have time to be looking in Telegram groups and commenting and doing all these other things, when actually I should be here making this commitment to you. Do I feel like I'm missing out on something? Is this what you may be going through? If you are actually using your time in other areas like watching television, just talking with your friends on the telephone, or whatever you do with your time. It all comes down to the results. What are the results that you want to see? So, for me, my results are that yes, I have women in the group, but not enough of them have decided to stay on. And it's no fault of my own, or is it? I don't know. Are they just not being honest with me? Who knows? But the point is, I should have continued to stay committed to this audio, because if I did, I might have reached other women who then would have found out what I was doing, who then would have come through into the group, and I'd have more women in that arena. So as I'm speaking to you, I'm actually speaking to myself. I've spoken about asking for help, and I'm going to leave on that topic here because it is really important. One of the things that I realised is I'm doing a lot of things that actually, if I just got some admin help, it would free up my time to make sure that I do have time to focus on important activities such as staying committed to this podcast. And fingers crossed, that's in hand. I'm in conversations with a wonderful woman, and we'll be looking how we can make that work as from next week. So I'm back. When you've had a break from anything, whether it's exercise, whether it's going maybe to see a friend that you haven't seen, or taking up a hobby that you've not done for a while, or here in my example, coming back in and tuning back into something that I was really enjoying doing, sharing some thoughts with whoever's listening. If you're listening, I love you. Thank you. But yeah, I'm back, and it's made a difference to how I'm feeling about myself. I really hope that this episode has added value to your journey. And as usual, I have no idea what I will be talking to you about tomorrow, but tomorrow will come. So I'm going to maybe put some thought into it this evening and be a little bit more prepared, so that by the time the day ends tomorrow, I know that I can get stuck into the next recording. I would like to leave with an offer of just inviting you to take a look at the group, which is called the My Happiness Club. I will leave the link underneath here. For now, I'm going to say good night, and thank you so much for tuning in and supporting this podcast. Lots of love, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye.